Right, technical difficulties figured out. I'm G13 Sports Plus.
And I'm K13_GG.
This is our Monday Night Raw recap, November 13th, 2023. Raw was, I would say, flipped last night. There was something good at the end. I mean, the match was good, and after the match, there was some stuff, but the explosion brawl that always happens at the end of Raw happened at the beginning. Cody Rhodes comes out. He starts the show. He calls a shot for the tag team champion. He says he's going to win. Him and Uso are going to win tonight. Later on the night, they're going to win the tag team champion back from Priest and Balor.
And I thought he was foreshadowing.
Yeah, we thought it was some foreshadowing that that him and Uso are going to win. But we'll get into what happens when later on, when we get through all the matches and what went on. But after he calls a shot for winning tag team champion, he starts calling out his team for War Games, which was, he called out Uso, then Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins. While they're talking, getting the crowd hyped, talking to each other. Judgment Day comes out, and they interrupt. The team, we'll call it the Uso Rhodes team. Rhodes seems to be leading the way. Uso's got the crowd. I think
Uso's the sidekick.
Uso's like, he's the hype man. The crowd's with Uso. And we'll get back with Uso here in a little bit. But I think, him becoming the face is really good. The Judgment Day, says you guys, this team has no chance against them at War Games because they have no chemistry. They're talking about how Usos betrayed all of them at one point, and that Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins really don't get along. And then
they're trying to tear each other apart.
They're trying to tear them apart, right? So they start smack talking for a little bit. Then Seth Rollins, eventually he has enough, and he interrupts, what's going on between the two teams, and he challenges JD and Dom, and him and Sami Zayn to a tag team match right to start the Raw off. That's gonna be the first match.
Hold up, way before this. Was it way before this? Priest cashed in like a bag for.
That's later on in the show.
Really?
Yeah, that didn't happen then. That did not happen then. It starts building. Yes. So they have a fight. So at this point, what did you think was going to happen with this fight between Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and not Finn Balor, but JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom.
I thought that the Judgment Day was going to win.
Judgment Day is usually winning right now. They are. So anyways, the match, they cut the commercial. We come back, and it's Rollins and Zayn versus JD and Dirty Dom.
During commercials, I say, what I say? It was something about like, I'll think of it.
Yep. But anyways, when we start the match off, Rollins and Zayn are they're dominating. We're about 5 minutes in, it seemed like JD and Dom just roll out of the ring and start walking away. They're just trying to leave. They're done. They're done getting beat up. I mean, they no chance at this point, it seems like. But then Zayn and Rollins run out there and get them and beat them down, drag them back into the ring, and the fight continues. The only real highlight of this match though, was probably the double suicide dive from Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. They look at each other, they run, bounce off the ropes, run, across the ring, then dive out and do a double suicide dive into JD, and I'm pretty sure it was JD and Dom.
Yeah, it was.
But Sammy and Seth are going to win this match, but then Priest and Balor come through the crowd to interfere. And then while this is going on, Rhodes and Uso come out to help. And here we have the usual end of the night brawl happening at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And the refs and management comes out. Adam Pearce comes out. He's like, I've had enough. We have a match with two of you from each side tonight, talking about Uso and Rhodes and Priest and Balor. And what does he do to the rest of them?
He bans them from when that's happening. He bans them from the ring.
from the ring, not only the ring side,
from inside.
from the whole arena. They gotta leave.
They gotta get out.
Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Dominic, and JD McDonough
I said
have to leave the arena.
I said just get everybody out because there's a possible way like anybody that can interfere.
Yeah.
With Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso getting them back.
Yep. Even Rhea had to leave. So Rhea's not happy, and this is like a little. It was real quick. I really didn't pay much attention to what was said, but as Rhea's talking to Adam Pearce, which is the manager of Raw, Zoe comes out, and Zoe, wants to run her mouth about how, Rhea's stretched too thin. Rhea's not focused on the match. Zoe's going to win at Survivor Series, and then Rhea laughs, pretty much says no. But they cut away from that. That's all done, and then we get a little promo in the back. We have Rhodes and Rollins walking through the back. Well, it starts out with Sami and Seth walking through the back, and Cody asks Sami, "Can I have a minute with Seth?" They agreed for one night they'll put their differences aside
and work together
at War Games. And then we get to my favorite. They're so fun. I love Alpha Academy. Thank you again. Thank you.
That's our little thing.
Shoes. We have Otis and Shinsuke.
Oh! There's my favorite part in this one.
What is it?
It's all of them. They're all like, okay, so Otis knocks down Shinsuke, and then they're all just dancing,
Yeah.
and then like they start like talk. Wait, that's later on. Never mind.
You're talking about when they're in the locker room?
I was about to get to that, and I caught myself.
Yeah.
But then
We'll
basically
get there. I think that had that in my notes.
They're all dancing on
Tozawa
Shinsuke.
does this little thing. Yeah. But anyways, Otis dominates the match. But in the end, he ends up losing. Shinsuke's got some sort of storyline going on. I don't know why he keeps winning.
I don't like him.
I really don't like him either. He's a good wrestler. He's fun to watch. I just don't like him as a character. Yeah, he's just so floaty. I don't like that.
Like princessy.
He prances. He's a prancer. There we go. And then after that match, we cut away and we see McIntyre and Rollins talking for the first time since their match at Crown Jewel. I've been saying Crown Royal lately. Anyways, Crown Jewel, they're talking since first time since then. And then McIntyre gives Rollins a handshake and says, you're right. I got no one to blame but myself this time. Good match. Handshake, and cuts away. And then we get Piper versus Tegan Nox. Nothing much to talk about here.
I'm surprised about 2 wins, though.
Yeah, I am too. Tegan Nox comes away with the win.
Like, I'm just like, how?
Yeah, I mean, Piper looked like the same way. Like, after she was pinned, she got up, she was like, "What's going on?" Chelsea was like, "What's going on?"
And then I'm kind of happy Tegan Nox won because I really like Tegan Nox, like, as like a wrestler.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's good. She's fun to watch.
Yeah.
She gets around the ring pretty fast. She's kind of bouncy. Then after that match, we have Ciampa versus Kaiser. It's kind of a revenge match for Ciampa. Last week he had a match against the DIY. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa had a match against the Creed Brothers, which is a new tag team. And
wait, isn't the
WWE.
locker room before this where they come?
No.
Oh, is it after?
Yes, it's after.
Okay. I'm itching to it.
I know. And if I forgot on my notes, we'll talk about it, okay? We'll get there. But last week we had Ciampa and it was DIY, Johnny Gargano and Ciampa versus the Creed Brothers. And the Creed Brothers won because was it Kaiser? Kaiser interfered with DIY, and then Creed Brothers won. During this match, it's just they're equals in the ring, in my opinion. Ciampa's a little more hard knocks. Kaiser's a little more clean and tactical. But the Vinci comes out, distracts, and he gets ejected from ringside. This is where Ciampa takes over. Ciampa starts dominating. And then we get later on in the match, and Da Vinci, he goes out the back, comes around through the crowd. He distracts Ciampa, and Kaiser gets the win. So Kaiser wins this match. What is it?
I'm gonna go grab my water.
Go grab water. And then we cut off to another promo, and it's the Judgment Day, and the whole team's sitting there, and they kind of talk about Damian earlier when they were smack talking with Rhodes' team. Damian got kind of heated and said he's the leader, and like if you know the Judgment Day, they say there is no leader; they're all together now.
Because they're like a family.
Right, they're like a family. But then Rhea said that might be a good idea going in the War Games to act as if Damian is the leader and he's going to lead the charge into War Games. And then as this is when I think Finn holds up the duffel bag and they start talking about JD. Is it time? Is it time for JD McDonough to finally be a part of the Judgment Day?
They talk about it and they agree on it.
They agree on it.
And then they surprise him.
Well, yep. And then Damian goes, well, let me do it. I'll do it because Damian's the one that's been the hardest on JD and not wanting JD to be part of the Judgment Day. And that kind of in the back of my head go, what's Damian Priest going to do? Because Damian really doesn't want JD on the Judgment Day. If you don't, like, when we're watching this, he's the one that's been like, no. Everyone's like, yes. And Damian's been, no. But JD's in medical from taking a spear for Damian. And this is what changes Damian's mind. Damian was about to get speared during the brawl from Jey Uso. JD pushed him out of the way, and Jey Uso spears JD. So he walks, and I think we haven't seen the bag yet. He doesn't get to JD right away. In the next match, it's Indy Hartwell versus Xia Li. Xia Li is the one who got ejected from the Women's Battle Royale last week for attacking Becky Lynch before they got to the ring. So the person she's wrestling gets to a point in the match where I can't remember if Xia had a one of her turnaround punch or one of her spinning kicks, but then Indy Hartwell couldn't continue the match. She pretty much knocked Indy Hartwell out. And she's
a tough wrestler.
She's a tough wrestler, yes. She's from NXT. She's fairly new, I do believe. Like I said, we've only been watching since April, so
we don't really watch that much of NXT.
Yeah, we really don't watch that much NXT. No, we don't.
Except when some specials go on.
Right, like Halloween Havoc, we watched that for all the costumes. We watched the one where John Cena appeared with when Undertaker showed up, all that happened. But anyways, I kind of don't like it when they do like the wrestler can't continue because you don't know if that's part of the script or if they really are like hurt. You know what I mean? Usually they throw up the X sign and medical comes out, but sometimes it's like, was Indy really hurt? Was she down for the moment? Did they not need medical come out? Like that's something I would like to know as a fan. I guess I would read in more. Go ahead.
That's why I want to go to one in real life to actually see because right when that ended, they cut to commercial, so we don't know what if medical came out
right.
Or like.
And then next we have Ivar versus The Miz, which I like The Miz.
Wait, wasn't there the locker room in the middle of that?
No.
What's the locker room? Next.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I'm sorry, I'm itching for it.
Yeah. I think we actually have we have 2 promos in a row coming up. Talk about right after this match. But I like The Miz. I like Miz TV way better than the Waller effect on SmackDown. Miz TV is good. The announcer actually said for the first time the WWE Universe, the fans are behind The Miz. So Miz seems to be turning face in the company. I've always liked him. He won the wrestling TV show way back in the day. Can't remember what it was called. I actually watched that one, the one he won. So I kind of followed him through the years, or but not so much watching. Just every now and again, I wonder how that guy's doing, and look him up, see, he's won an Intercontinental title. He's the Universal Champion. He's the Heavyweight Champion. It's kind of things I've done. But we have Ivar versus The Miz. And Ivar is part of the
to like Knights.
No, the Viking Raiders.
The Viking Raiders.
Yep.
I couldn't think of that.
And his tag team partner's out because of neck injury. His partner had
And we
neck
didn't
surgery.
know that.
We didn't know that until I think like a couple weeks ago they said it on Raw. I just assumed Ivar went to singles competition and they fired the other guy. Seems to happen a lot. But during this match, big Bronson Reed comes to the ringside and grabs a chair. And the referee's like, "No, Bronson, don't do it. Don't do it." And then Bronson just folds out the chair and sits down.
I like how he does it. He's like one of those like in the movie where he just flips it. Like
Yeah.
he did that. If you weren't watching close, he pulled it out and just flipped it out.
Sat right in front of the announcer's table. And the guy was like, "Well, I would call this match, but I can't see it because big Bronson Reed's in my way." Bronson's a big guy.
Yeah.
Bronson's, Ivar is too. The Miz is a big guy, but next to these two, he don't look like a big guy.
Bronson can win.
Bronson can win. Valhalla interferes in this match, but it didn't work out. Ivar went for the pin right after Valhalla, which is the girl, interfered with this match, and he didn't get 3 count. So this match was pretty good, I think. Couple of tornado DDTs. I love those. Those are one of my favorite. It's just the way you spin around the body, like 2 people got to be working really good together to pull that off, and that can be a really dangerous move. But when it's pulled off right, it's art to me. That's wrestling. That's art wrestling. It's really good. But the Miz wins by cheating. When he's pinning Ivar, he puts his legs up on the top rope for leverage, so Ivar can't kick out. But after the match, what happens? You remember what happens after the match?
The locker room?
No. Well, Bronson Reed is ringside.
Oh, Bronson Reed attacks Ivar, right?
He attacks Ivar.
Wait, who wins?
Well, I mean, no one wins. It's just a brawl, but Ivar didn't get a hit in. Bronson Reed drops him. Puts him towards the corner and hits him with the Bronson Reed. What's Bronson Reed's move? You remember?
Bronson Reed cutter?
Mm-hmm. The tsunami. Because he's such a big guy. He jumps from the top ropes. It's like a tidal wave coming at him.
We thought the whole ring was gonna break.
Yeah, every time Ivar and Bronson get in the ring, there's a chance.
The table broke once with them too.
Yep.
The table broke.
And then we get to 2 promos. The first one, it shows JD in the medical, and who walks up to him with a duffel bag? Who's taking the duffel bag? Damian Priest. And pulls out a what?
Oh, I forget.
He pulls out JD McDonough's Judgment Day.
Hold up. Sign.
Jacket.
Jacket.
Gives him his uniform for Judgment Day. JD McDonough is officially a member of the
Judgment Day.
So now we have Rhea.
Dom.
Dom.
Damian Priest.
Finn. And then the newest. JD McDonough. Which
I kind of like JD McDonough.
We don't know. There might be a new member at the end of this night. We're not sure if it's a new member or if it's just an alliance. But we'll get there. And then it's announced next week, Chad Gable versus Shinsuke. Shinsuke's going to win this match, I think.
I caught on to this, like, right after that match. They've been losing ever since Gunther.
Yep. Chad Gable lost to Gunther, yep.
And then they just keep losing.
Which
makes
let's give
me
Alpha.
upset.
Yeah, it does. Let's give Alpha Academy a win. Next week on Raw.
Let's give him a title.
Let's give him a tag team title or something.
Okay, is it?
And then we get to the tag team promo. I love these, man. With all the tag teams in their locker room. Go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, so wait, who is it? It's the Creed brothers?
The Creed brothers are there. Good job, because they're
Creed
new.
brothers and Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy, yep. Alpha Academy consists of Otis.
The new guy.
Sazawa. What's the girl's name? Peanut Gallery. Remember the girl's name for Alpha Academy? Oh man, the girl, and then Chad, and then who else was there?
The Creed brothers.
The New Day.
Oh yeah, the New Day.
And they all get to talking about the wanting the tag team title and all the other stuff. And Tozawa starts doing his little dance. And like, oh, that's nasty. That's nasty.
And then they just start arguing about him. And then he goes, and then Tozawa goes, shush.
Yeah.
And then we see both of the girls from the Creed brothers and the Alpha Academy.
Ivy Nile, I'm pretty sure that's her name.
We see them talking, and then suddenly they become friends, and they start hanging out.
The chemistry within the tag team division is really good.
Yeah.
There's not, much animosity, but we don't have the Viking Raiders no more in there. The Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor have their own locker room with the Judgment Day, so they're not in that locker room. They're all faces. They're all good.
That was probably my favorite part of last night's Raw. That was probably my favorite part in the locker room.
Those tag team promos are gold, man. I love them. We've seen those probably for at least 2 or 3 weeks. I'm loving it. And then we go to commercial, and then we come back, and it's the main event. Uso and Rhodes versus Priest and Balor for their tag team championship. And this is where the announcer goes, Jey Uso has the crowd, because when LA Knight hits somebody, they're like, yeah, every time he hits. Well, every time Jey Uso hits someone out, they go, yeet, yeet, yeet,
yeet, yeet, yeet.
But this was a back and forth match. Uso and Rhodes dominated for a while, then Priest and Balor dominated for a while. Then Uso and Rhodes, then Balor and Priest, but Uso and Cody Rhodes have my favorite move. I call it the main event cutter, because it's main event Jey Uso and it's the Cody cutter, where the main event Jey Uso takes the opponent and throws them in the air, and then Cody does his running off the ropes, jumps, and Cody cuts him. I love that move. Love it.
He's like midair, and then they just fall.
The main event cutter. That's what I'm calling it. But anyways.
We like to play wrestling outside on the trampoline.
We do.
So we have our own signatures and
Yes. We were watching this in the bedroom, and they hit him with the main event cutter, and you both start rising up to celebrate. And then as Balor's getting pinned, Priest comes in and stops the count. Uso rolls out of the ring, and all of a sudden we see Drew McIntyre come out of the crowd. And you could hear a pin drop in our bedroom. We were like, what's going on? Sees Jey Uso, hits him with the Claymore, throws Uso in the ring. Then they pin Uso. Oh no, I'm in shock still. I was like, no, this can't be happening again. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, they my favorites. And they getting, oh no, don't do this. McIntyre, why? McIntyre hits Uso with the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Uso and Balor win. Ref doesn't see the interference.
Uso and Balor.
Or Priest and Balor. See, that's what you're here for. And then Drew McIntyre walks up the aisle and meets Rhea Ripley. Rhea comes out and they meet right there at the entrance.
Fist bump, I think.
They shake hands.
Shake hands.
Rhea extends her hand out and Drew McIntyre shakes. Now.
Does
this mean an alliance? Or does this mean Drew McIntyre is part of the Judgment Day?
If it is, I will kind of be a little happy.
Well, what do you think it is?
I think, I don't know. It's a 50-50% chance. But I think he joins the Judgment Day because you see them, weeks back, you see them talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talk about it, they re-roll a clip and stuff, Seth Rollins. And then they say, and Seth Rollins says, what were you guys talking about? And then he says,
yeah,
and then now I know what they were talking about. Now I know what they were talking about. Here's what I think they said.
Okay.
Here's what I think they said. Rhea Ripley said to Drew McIntyre,
yeah,
right? That if they ever get the rematch for the tag team titles, I think you need to come in before my boys lose.
Yeah,
And then just and
because
then,
they're always going to lose.
and then stop it, and then they keep it.
Yep. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to use Drew McIntyre to get the heavyweight title off Seth, and I think somehow they're going to weaken Drew McIntyre, and that's when Damian Priest cashes in and takes the title away from Drew McIntyre instead of Seth Rollins. Or it's going to go the other way around. Priest is going to cash in on Seth, and then McIntyre is going to want to match with Priest. So this alliance, I think, if it's an alliance, if he's a member, Drew McIntyre, I don't think it's going to last long. But it's good for the storyline because usually my insider for wrestling says, because we don't know much about War Games, that War Games is usually 5-on-5. So that's going to be Judgment Day's 5th member.
But we
For
don't
War
know
Games.
the 5th member.
My insider says the 5th member for Rhodes' team is more than likely going to be Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
He's a guy. You'll when you see him, you'll know. You've seen him. So I don't know. We know who the 5th member is for the Judgment Day team for War Games. We got to figure out who that 5th team member is, and we'll figure out on Monday Night Raw.
Wait,
We might figure out on SmackDown. We don't know.
Me? It's telling me it has to be. Well, of course, it's going to be a solo. I feel like it's going to be like someone that is alone.
Yeah.
The solo. I'm trying to think. Who was it? I honestly forgot. Wait, no. They have their 5th member. Remember?
Who?
JD McDonough. It's Dom.
That's with Rhea though.
Oh yeah.
Rhea's not going to wrestle with the
Rhea
men.
can't wrestle. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Dang it! That wipes out my whole thing.
Yep. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest together on the same team by itself is
Crazy.
a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have no one the size of Drew McIntyre on your team yet. You got to get somebody big.
Yep.
I don't know who that's going to be, but that's all we have for Raw.
Yep.
You know. You
Right.
good with it?
Yep.
All right.
See you guys.